What was the thought process for Santos? And just go ahead and get, what was the reasoning for maybe cutting him?
I just felt like it was time to move on. Obviously we had Zane in minicamp. He was accurate. He's the guy that we liked at the time. He was available, and made that decision.
Just didn't give you what you wanted. Is that what it was?
Just I don't want to beat up on people when they're not here. So I just felt like it was the right thing. Just across the board. Practice, game, just feeling like we wanted to not have to think about it. So Zane's obviously kicked in the National Football League. He's been 88% over the course of a season. So and having had him here in the summer was something as well for us. So we did give him a shot, and just knowing him and having a feel for him, I feel like he'll step right in.
How far did the draft pick have anything to do with it?
Obviously there's a lot of parameters at stake, but just at the end of the day, the most important thing for us is just having a kicker. Having a guy that we know. So, we like Ryan. He's a big leg. Just felt like this was the time.
How easy or hard is it to project what you'll be able to get out of Johnny off of COVID?
Yeah, I think we have to take it day by day. I don't think we can project it. I think we have to just sort of get him as ready as we can, and see. See if he's able to go or not. Just obviously a little bit limited today, just getting in the building today. So, we'll have to get everybody ready to, like we do every week, and see who can go.
Even if Johnny is able to go forward, do you think that there will be kind of a rotation between Dennis?
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time? I'm having a hard time hearing you both.
Even if Johnny is ready to go forward, do you think that there will be somewhat of a rotation between Dennis?
I can't say that yet. Pat was limited today, so those guys are kind of all beat up right now. Just coming out of the game, which is understandable after the first game. So we went out there, we practiced some full pads. It was physical today. Watch the tape and then see. Try to get the best 5 guys out there.
How about your staff prepared for the challenges of a division opponent, especially for you? This is your second year playing the Saints. Is there any nuances that are different to be prepared for that?
I think it's the same preparation. I just think you have more. Information to go off of. You have more tape to go off of. Obviously 2 games last year. You can go back the year before, see how they played Christian. So there's just more tape as opposed to some of these other teams. You're like last week we're shooting fish blind. Really, I mean you're sitting there like, hey, I think it's going to be this. I think it's going to be that. There's some plays in that game. We had some tips. Hey, when it's this, it's going to be this, and they didn't quite play out like that. Just sort of new some new philosophical things on defense. From the Jets. So for us to be able to, at least have 1 game on the Saints, to have 2 games last year we played them, to have the whole full season with that staff, there's just a little bit more information.
Do you try to save anything new for the division opponent?
No, we try to win every game.
And Matt, being thin at guard, what was the decision like to not make Deontay active last week?
We always want to have a second center active, right? And then Brady can really play all 4. Trent Scott can play all 4. So it was pretty simple for us. Deontay's going to be a good player. He's just coming along, taking time. Taking a little bit of time. He's getting in great shape right now. I think we drafted him at like 360. He's in the 330s right now. So I think he's going to have a bright future. But Brady and Trent were just a little further along last week.
And with a couple safeties and nickel types on the injury list, how quickly do you think you can get Corn up to speed?
Corn knows our system, knows our defense. He's one of those guys. I mean, he was an awesome guy to have here last year. He can do a lot of different things. So, we it's early in the season. Unfortunately, Miles will be out for a while. Obviously we get AJ back next week, but for this week, just know that Corn knows things and he can be available to us.
What did you think when he
I'm
visiting with you and some of the other high school coaches here?
You think we'll be on
No worries.
by the end of the week?
I don't know that. I can't say that at all, to be honest with you.
Is there any advantage to playing a division opponent earlier in the season as opposed to later?
I don't know. I think probably it's always an advantage to play people later just because you have more tape on them. Obviously the Saints rolled last week. You saw them for, really. I think they played 19 snaps of defense, 18 snaps of defense in the first half. They held Green Bay to 18 plays on offense. So there's not and then they got ahead. So it's really hard to try to piece together. Hey, exactly who are they now? Obviously they have a new quarterback. who are they offensively now. So love to have a couple more games on them. But we're so focused on ourselves right now because obviously we have things we need to correct. So we're just trying to get better ourselves. So I'd love to have more tape on maybe probably people usually, but we'll go back off of what they did last year, what they did against us last year, and then obviously what they did off the first game.
Matt, how are they different from Jameis in their quarterback as opposed to Drew?
I mean, it's a lot of the same concepts, a lot of the same offense. I think Jameis did a great job last week. I mean, I think one of the kind of untold stories of that game was his ability to extend drives, extend plays with his feet. I got vertical and had a great run on the second down, escaped the pocket and ran for a first down on 3rd and 8. Got vertical and made a great touchdown pass to Chris Hogan. So his ability to slide, move in the pocket, attack you up the field, attack you outside the pocket, throw the ball down the field, run the ball, that's a dynamic element to the game that we have to prepare for. I'm sorry.
Do you expect Shy to play, and if so, at punt return?
Yeah, Shy won't return punts for us. He's not ready to do that just before the injury even. I don't know that he'll play. He's up. He's practicing. Just a matter of how the rotation goes throughout the course of the week. And so I wanted to see him practice today. He practiced well today in terms of the injury. So I have to go back and watch the tape and see who our best guys are. So. I was proud of Shy. He went from, hey, maybe he'll be up this week to practicing. So that's good. Just, we'll see how, game plan wise, how he fits in.
Matt, how much of a better sense do you have of the execution issues you had, especially in the second half in the red zone, in terms of getting those things corrected and what you have to do to make sure that those things don't happen?
Yeah, I think, most of our red zone issues really for me were in the first half, and we had seam ball throw and catch to Ian that's got to be a touchdown. As I said, we have touchdown to Moo. We have a goal line, 4th and 1 play. So I think on all teams, you play the first game, you see what you did well. The good news is, we had to play a game that was, we had a chance to run away with it a little bit, and we didn't. I would like to play better in the second half, but we had to go back and play in the fourth quarter and execute in the 4-minute, execute, with the final drive and all those things. So we had to play 60 minutes, which I think is good for us. And we saw the things we're not good at. So we just have to continue to work and improve and get better. And I thought Joe had some good play designs. I thought Pat had some great, run thoughts. So we just have to just continue to get better.
You may have answered this earlier when you were talking about the Saints defense. I was going to ask you, did you notice anything that they were doing different from last year to this year, or how were they able to shut down Aaron Rodgers and that passing attack and that whole offense?
Well, I mean, I think they're an elite defense, and they've been. I think Dennis Allen does a great job. I mean, I think that watching them on 3rd down last year, they get after the quarterback. They're excellent. I think the thing I'll say about the Saints, the most respect I have for them is it's not, players go down for them. Guys get injured, whatever happens, and the other guys step up. And they have a culture of execution. And it's what's winning organizations win. And they, next man up, and they continue to do that at a high level. And so that's what the Saints are. But I mean, they are extremely good up front on the offensive line, extremely good up front on the defensive line. Their defensive line coach, Ryan Nielsen, I think is one of the best, and they're disruptive. And so they played well. They got off the field, and then their offense extended drives. Jameis ran. Like I said, you played 19 plays in a half. That's really something special.
What makes Alvin Kamara such a special player?
I'll say that one more time.
What makes Alvin Kamara such a
Oh.
special player?
He has Alvin Kamara has elite, Hall of Fame type contact balance. You hit him and he bounces off people. He's unbelievably hard to tackle. They do a great job of getting him the ball, and he can win in the wide zone outside run game. He can win in the downhill run game. He can win on option routes. He can win on shallow crosses. But he's just unbelievably hard to tackle. Great burst, great speed, great vision. But I think the thing that separates him the most is probably his balance.
For your red zone woes, do your players get involved in solutions for that? And so what does that look like if you try to figure that out?
Yeah, those are your words. I don't use woes for me. We just have to execute a little bit better. It's never like these big, macro things. It's always just an inch here, a step here. So I don't think it's, like I said, I personally don't believe it's schematic. I think Joe had some great things dialed up, and we just have to throw and catch just a little bit better. We have to be a little tighter on the wide zone. So I'm just a very incremental person. It's just get a little bit better at this, a little bit better at that. So In terms of players getting involved, players are involved in everything because they're the ones out there playing. Players win games is our belief, and so I want them to take the game plan and have tremendous ownership over it. On a deeper level, if there's something that they're not comfortable with, that the quarterbacks go through and dot everything that they're comfortable with, and that's what we roll with. Guys always have thoughts. We always talk about it, but at the end of the day, I think when you see guys on defense come in free, I always evaluate the staff and myself and the coaches after every game, and when I see Robbie wide out behind the defense, that's a great play by Robbie. It was also a great play design by the coaches. When I see, as I said the other day, Sam walk in on quarterback draw, it's great play design. When I see Burns come off the edge or Haas come off the edge on block, that's great defensive play design. So, I always try to evaluate those things, and then there's going to be times where it's not a good play design, and players have to make us right, and that's Christian catching the ball and making a guy miss. So, we just have to continue to improve and get better. I mean, it's a long season, and game one, we saw what we did. We just have to improve.
Hold on 1 second. We're going to take 2 more questions. Joe?
That all-around game from Shaq last week, did you see him ever last year sort of be on the cusp of one of those type of games? And what do you think held him back from kind of doing that?
Yeah, and I think he didn't have, maybe we weren't just as strong around him, so he had to make up for a lot of things last year, and you can really play linebacker at a high level when you trust that, like when you have Daquan Jones as your nose, I'm telling you, Daquan Jones is going to stay in his gap. There's not going to be any jumping around. Like he played an excellent football game. It's not going to show up on the stats as a nose, but as a nose tackle, when I see the linebackers running, I feel really good about them. And you have Hassan Reddick and Burns coming off the edges. You have Derek played probably his best game. Morgan Fox was really dominant at the point of attack, I thought, Yetur. So I think it's just all of those things as opposed to, sometimes when, guys that aren't playing well, you're kind of having to, hey, I'm going to go to the A gap, but I'm not going to run through. I'm going to check it because I might have to go to the B gap because this young guy might be in the wrong gap. So defense to me is all about trust and accountability. And so I think Shaq was working towards that last year. I think now he can really cut it loose. And I think Jermaine has been a big part of that as well. Their communication, they play well off each other as well.
You mentioned those videos you put on the monitors, and Shaq in particular. Did you have much background when I guess you would have been at Temple at the time? Did you know much about him in college?
No, I just knew him, just as a college football fan, and just as a two-way player and the things that he did. There's not a guy. I mean, there's been some wonderful guys. Some guys that aren't here. Some guys that are here. I mean, but there've been just coming in a transition COVID year. Guy coming in they don't know, replacing a great coach. And Coach Rivera. That's always hard. Because it's different, right? But guys like KK Short last year, guys like Shaq. They have been catalysts to move us along in a positive direction, and Shaq's unbelievable in that regard. So to see him play well is no doubt to me because he puts the time and he puts the work in. The guys were done at 3:15 last week. It's 6:30. He's walking out of the building. I mean, he's a consummate professional.
All right. Last one, Dave. Yeah, how much seeing Christian every day in practice help you when you face a guy like Lamar?
Yeah, it's funny because like the routes that they run with Alvin are the same routes that we run with Christian. So when they run choice, when they run cash, it's the same things that we run. So our guys should have really a lot of confidence. That's why to me that's what's so great about the Saints. They're execution based. It's not, hey, we're gonna Coach Payton's great. They scheme up, but they're gonna run their plays to a high level, and we have to do the same thing. And so. I think you saw last week, we were running some of those concepts with Christian, and, he was getting open and beating guys across their face and making explosive plays. They started zoning them up, and the ball went to DJ. So some of those same things that we do, obviously they do, and a lot of teams in the National Football League do. And so I think our defense at least has a good feel for it, prepared for it. So our quarterbacks have done a good job with the defense of giving them the right looks. So I think we should be prepared for the game.
What do you think with the quarterback, though, with Jameis? Is he taking advantage of those, Kamara and other things that they're doing with that system to make him more efficient than he was at Tampa?
Yeah, I don't have a great history. I just say all I can say is what I saw of Jameis in the game the other day was tremendously impressive. I mean, he took everything that was there. We obviously know a lot of the reads. I mean, he threw on time, threw the ball down the field, was explosive, threw the ball in the tight windows, protected the football, and again, like I said, it really added an element of extending plays. So I was really impressed coming away from him. I think it's really key for us we're going to have to play well against him, both in terms of keeping him in the pocket and obviously defending the big arm that he has.